Hi everyone, it's me, Cash Muller, for my second video of all time. My first video was really successful. I'm hoping this second video is too. Today I'm announcing that we're going to be starting on an 8-week series of going through the NFL schedules. Now, the schedules were released way back in May. But now I want to show you what I'm predicting for the NFL season. We're going to be starting off with, I think, a division. This division will be our first stop, and that will be included in this start with the reigning champions of the Super Bowl coming up next. Alright everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be starting off this 8-week series of me predicting the outcomes of all the schedules. We're going to be starting off the reigning champions, who, much to my dislike, won the Super Bowl for the second straight year. But listen, just be ready, because I may not be too friendly to you Chiefs fans in this upcoming segment. Alright, I have the clipboard. It's got the Chiefs schedule, and I will read off their opponents one by one to you. If you can't understand me, you can turn on captions. Alright, get ready. Kicks off the season Thursday, September 5th versus Baltimore on NBC at 6:20 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Baltimore and the Chiefs. Baltimore 2 straight games against the Chiefs. Now, don't blow me up or something and say, Cash, why, oh why, don't you like the Chiefs? They're like the best team. They're the most popular team in the NFL. Do you not see that pennant right there? Do you not know which division this team is in? This team is literally in the division of my Denver Broncos. Like, that's ridiculous. Why would I ever, stop going for the Broncos for that silly reason? But anyway, Baltimore is their opponent for week 1. Action Jackson, he's leaner and he's faster. Derrick Henry, this is going to be a tough team to beat this year. Kansas City, I don't think wins this game. I think that this game is just like Detroit. Comes down to the last second. I say field goal game, Action Jackson prevails. I say loss is the result of this game. Then the next Sunday, September 15th, at what? Burrowhead Stadium. Burrowhead Stadium. Joe Cool's in town for an afternoon game against the Chiefs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not one to shy down a rivalry. And guess what? I will actually tell you this. This is very personal information. I wrote a letter to Joe Burrow encouraging him in this one game. I don't really care about all the other games. I just want them to beat the Chiefs. So I can gloat about it forever and ever and ever and ever. I even drew some Joe Cool Snoopy pictures to just hang in my room. They're pretty sweet. Loss. Burrowhead returns to Kansas City. What's next? Oh, the next Sunday, Atlanta. You got Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. This is not going well in the schedule, is it? But I mean, you're talking the Kansas City Chiefs, folks. You're talking the Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons have 2 good quarterbacks. Chris Jones could take out one guy and say, oh well. Falcons can say, oh well, we got Michael Penix sitting right behind Kirk Cousins. I don't think that this is a loss for Kansas City. I think this is actually a huge win after starting out 0-2 against Baltimore and Cincinnati. So, we'll see. Then the next Sunday, another road game, this time in SoFi Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Harbaugh, the guy who coached this team, is going to be coaching against this team. Who's got it better than us? Nobody, and that includes Patrick Mahomes. Chargers win 1-3 for the Chiefs. Then they host the Saints. That's going to be an easy win. That's just gonna be like an absolute. That's just not even gonna be a fun game to watch. That will be like a just butt kicking game that whole time. Then they have their week 6 bye week. Come out of the gates and they play in Levi Stadium against who? The San Francisco 49ers. The Niners and the Chiefs rematch in week 7. I will watch that game. I will watch that game die hard. I went for the 49ers in the title game last year. I even had a costume. I even built myself a costume. I just taped 49ers paper logos that I cut out onto a jacket, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, this game's gonna be the revenge. Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, who I believe will one day be the GOAT, beats Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 2-4 in their first 6 games. Then they head to Vegas. By this time, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are getting desperate. They're probably last in the division with the Broncos, sadly. But I think Vegas is going to be a tough game for them. But I think it's a win. So then now they're 3-4. They're almost at 500. They enter week 9 and they head to Tampa Bay. That's an easy victory, even though Baker Mayfield's on the team. W for Tampa Bay. Then they host the Broncos at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs have struggled against the Broncos. And I'm not even I know I'm a diehard Broncos fan, and a lot of you can probably say, "Well, Cash, of course you'll say your prediction is the Chiefs will win." Well, I actually have some rhythm, or whatever you want to call it, behind it, or stuff to back it. And the Chiefs have struggled against the Broncos. And we have a star rookie quarterback who is probably one of the most experienced rookies right now in the NFL. He's played at the college level, and he's wanting to bring something home to Denver, and I hope he does. I'm a big supporter of Bo Nix right now. I say it's a shootout in Arrowhead. It's going to be a morning game. I don't know what the outcome will be, but I think it's going to be a narrow win for Kansas City, unfortunately. Don't blast me, Broncos fans, for turning on the team, but don't worry, I have a little surprise for Chief fans later. Oh, the surprise is right now. Week 11, at Buffalo. Valdez-Scantling went to where? Buffalo? I believe that's right. Josh Allen has plenty of targets right now, and he is just loading up. He is wanting that revenge so bad on the Chiefs that he gets it again. Another loss. They sit at 5-5 at this point. But sports people start talking, well, they're 3-2 coming off their bye week. I mean, it's better than their 2-3 record, right? And then they head to Carolina, and Carolina gets throttled by the Chiefs. That's another win. Now they're 6-6. Right? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they're 6-5. Good. Then they host Vegas. And I don't even know how to say this, but this is a prediction that I'm going to say. Vegas wins this game just like last year. It's a Friday night game. W over Vegas. Then Jim Harbaugh comes to town and says, "Hey, I like Arrowhead." That's a loss for Kansas City. And then they head to Cleveland. I know a lot of people are saying Cleveland is a stocked up team. I don't see them beating Kansas City yet. If they can put together a fighting force, then I will admit that the Browns win this game, but I think it's a win for the Chiefs. And then they host Houston. C.J. Stroud. That's game. Look at the games. They have Baltimore, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Buffalo, Cleveland, Houston. These games are big games in factors in the playoffs. I say that at the end of the day, C.J. Stroud comes out with 4 passing touchdowns and beats the Chiefs 31-29. I don't know what that beeping is. It's probably like a alarm system. It's not. It's just an alarm clock. Then they head to Pittsburgh, and they get an unpleasant surprise from Mike Tomlin for Christmas. Christmas Day. Hey, from Mike Tomlin. You lose. Please hold. Alright. Shut the alarm clock off. And then the final game of the season, the Chiefs enter this game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 losses, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 wins. So they clinched a losing season. And the Broncos say it's mile high magic, and they beat the Chiefs. Chiefs go 7-10 is my prediction. 7-10. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my prediction for the Kansas City Chiefs this season. 7-10. All right, coming up, I'm gonna be quicker on the Raiders schedule, and then we'll get through the other stuff very quickly. All right, and we're back. And as a Bronco fan, I can tell you, I wish I could just throw this logo out the window, but yet I must subdue my anger and turn it down. First game that the Raiders had this year is the Los Angeles Chargers. September 8th. What do you think this face means? Loss. Baltimore. Loss. Carolina. That's going to be a win. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an easy win. Then we have a Cleveland Raiders game. Now, the last few Cleveland Las Vegas games have been really kind of fun to watch. Or so we wish. But I would like to watch a Raiders-Browns matchup. Just the uniforms would go well together. That's a home game for the Raiders. It's going to be a good game. I think, though, that the Browns will win this game. So, sorry. They're 1-3 to start the season, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. You're very welcome. And they head to Denver, and they beat us, unfortunately, because Denver can't find a way to beat Vegas. This team can't beat that team, ever. It's just not natural. Just not natural. And then they play Pittsburgh. I think that this game's a win for them. They're 3-3. They get 2 straight wins, and then things go downhill, and they lose to the LA Rams. Then they play Kansas City, and I think I said. What did I say today? I said Vegas would lose, and I think I'm right. Then they play Cincinnati. Loss. 3 straight losses going into their bye week. Then they head to Miami. Can we do a better schedule for Raiders fans? This is just a terrible. This is a bad schedule. I don't even this is. I'm glad this isn't the Broncos schedule actually. Miami, loss. Now they have 4 straight losses. People are starting to say, "Are the Raiders really worth it?" And then they head to Denver, and then they lose to Denver. Thank you very much. And then they head to Kansas City, and what did I say about them in that game? It's a win for them. They break that. They break it. They break that long-lost losing streak to the Chiefs. And then they lose to Tampa Bay. Uh-oh. And then they beat Atlanta. They lose to Jacksonville. They beat New Orleans. What the heck? My schedule says... My schedule says... Oh, ay. It says Rams instead of Chargers. What? Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, just look at this. See? Right there. LA Rams. You guys trying to figure out why it had LA Rams right there, too. And then I thought, they're really messed up. But I still do think they lose to LA. And then the last game of the year, they beat LA. So... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. I say 7-10 for the Raiders too. That's a pretty reasonable record. So, Raiders go 7-10 is my prediction for the Raiders this year. You're very welcome. Coming up, we are going to do the Chargers schedule. What's my prediction for Harbaugh? All right, welcome back. And now I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh's team, the Chargers. And I'm impressed with how Jim Harbaugh is handling this big transition from college to NFL. But he was really good at coaching in California for the San Fran 49ers when he was in the NFL. Now, first game against Vegas, what did I say they would do? Wait. They'd win, yeah. So the Raiders played both teams. They just didn't put the... So the Raiders play both of the teams. They play the Chargers and then they play the Rams. Why didn't I see that before? They still did duplicate the Rams, and the Rams aren't even in their conference. Vegas win. I say Carolina, that's an easy win. So 2-0 starts off. Cheerio. And then they beat Pittsburgh. That's a 3-0 start, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. The way things are looking for the Chargers. And then they go into a bye week after a win over Kansas City. 4-0. People are really starting to say, are the Chargers legit threats to the Super Bowl? And then they come out of the bye week, and then they go to Denver and find out, well, Mile Highs has other ideas. They lose their first game of the season, and then they beat Arizona by a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not an Arizona fan. I'm just unfortunately for their record. They beat the Saints. Am I getting any mercy about the Saints right now? I don't think so. They lose to Cleveland, but Tennessee is a win. Cincinnati's a loss. Baltimore's a loss. So, but those games are going to be really fun games. But Cincinnati and Cleveland, like, you got three of the 4 AFC North teams in, like, literally 4 weeks. So, we'll see. I say they lose to Atlanta, shockingly, but it'll be like a Harbaugh Penix rematch. I'll like that. I'll like to watch that one. Kansas City, I say it is another loss. It's another loss for Kansas City. The Chargers win, and then they go to Tampa Bay and win. And then they lose to Denver. Thank you very much. Go Broncos. They beat New England easily. And then the end of the season, it's a loss to Vegas. So at the end of the day, I say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins for the Chargers. A 10-7 record. Now coming up, what's my prediction for the Denver Broncos? Find out next. Alright, we're back, and I'm talking about the Broncos. You may notice it's significantly brighter. It's because the sun just came out from behind the clouds. It was raining when the video began. But I'm talking about the Broncos. I'm talking about Denver. I'm talking about the team Peyton Manning played for. I'm talking about the team that's only won 3 Super Bowls. Unfortunately. But we've made a lot of Super Bowls. So let's get over this. Alright. First team on the Broncos schedule, coincidentally, 2 years ago, the Denver Broncos went to Seattle after Russell Wilson got traded. Now, I have an uncle who adores the Seahawks. It ain't happening, bro. Broncos win over the Seahawks. And then Pittsburgh, I think that this game is a loss for Denver, but we'll see. Tampa Bay, I don't think that will be a good game. Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, gonna be a little like gunfight, I feel like, but gonna be a good game. I say Tampa Bay loses the game in the end. Broncos 2-1. People starting to say really mean things about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then Aaron Rodgers, if he returns from his vacation, which we don't know where he is on this planet right now, he'll return from his vacation. I'm just joking. I think that the Denver Broncos will defeat the New York Jets. Sorry about the water running in the background. I'm doing this in my room, and I sit right next to the shower. But anyway, I think the Jets win this game. And if you hear little people noises everywhere, it's my siblings. The Broncos beat the Jets, lose to the Raiders, lose to the Chargers, beat the Saints. And the last time we played the Saints, it was a horrific game, and we played with a quarterback who wasn't even a starter or a third string. All our quarterbacks across the board were sick, and we just threw a guy with quarterback experience out there. We lost miserably. So I think we get our revenge in that game. Carolina, easy win. Baltimore, we ain't win that game. Like, that's like, I know I'm a Broncos fan to the core, and I'll still root for them over Baltimore, but it ain't happening. It just ain't happening. I do think we lose to Kansas City, like I said earlier in the video, but we pack a surprise punch for the Kansas City Chiefs later. We lose to Atlanta, 3-game losing streak by now. Someone behind the clouds again. Vegas, I think that's an easy win for us. Cleveland, another win. If you watched the Cleveland game last year. And then Indianapolis, loss. Anthony Richardson's pretty darn good. I don't expect anything to be different. The Chargers, we beat the Chargers, and then we lose to the Bengals. And I know I'm a Broncos fan, but my prediction is we just lose to the Bengals. And then we beat the Chiefs at the end of the season, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We finish the season 9-8. Division title goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. So with that record, the final season score would be Kansas City, 4th place, Vegas, 3rd place, Denver, 2nd place, Los Angeles division title. And if you disagree with my Kansas City outlook this season, please just keep it to yourself. Have your own anchor. But this is the team that I'm hearing about a lot on this channel. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your alerts because you never know when there will be a big sports story that I need to get to right away. Alright, anyway, next time, ladies and gentlemen, on CSA.